So here's where things get kind of complicated. One thing that you need to be doing is constantly replenishing the solution in your column by adding more and more of that sodium phosphate buffer. That sodium phosphate buffer that has no sodium chloride in it. What you'll also need to be doing is collecting approximately 1 milliliter fractions. So what that would look like is something like this. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Now you might be thinking, did I collect 1 milliliter? Well, a good way to figure that out is to use a transfer pipette as kind of a dummy. Get a transfer pipette, get one of these glass test tubes, which, there you go, there's those glass test tubes. Get those glass test tubes, add 1 milliliter to it, and make a black marking with a Sharpie. Say, okay, well, approximately here is 1 milliliter. So I'm gonna get all of my test tubes, and I'm gonna mark there across, call it 25, maybe 30 test tubes. Okay, so if we have that marking on our test tubes, we know approximately what 1 milliliter is. I am going to be adding solution to my column. I'm going to be collecting 1 milliliter, and I'm going to be doing these things simultaneously. Well, this is where the benefit of having multiple people in your group comes in. You can have one person who continues to add more and more buffer as needed to this column. Another person who collects those fractions, and then an even third person to be helping out with the spectrophotometry. Now the spectrophotometry in this case, is you're gonna collect a fraction, and then with a UV cuvette, take all of the solution from this one test tube, put all of that solution from that test tube into your UV cuvette, and measure the absorbance at 280 nanometers. Why are we going to be measuring at 280 nanometers? Because we want to be able to say whether or not there's protein in this fraction right here. After we've measured A280 in that UV cuvette, we're going to transfer all of that sample back into that original test tube. Now, what I highly recommend is to collect about 4 samples. So 1 milliliter, 1 milliliter, 1 milliliter, 1 milliliter. Make sure that you have these marked in some form or fashion with your initials and a number. My initials JWG, so I'd write JWG1, JWG2, because there's going to be multiple other groups working in the lab, and if everyone marks theirs 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going to be in trouble. Everyone's going to mix up their samples. So I've measured out 4 1 milliliter fractions. I hand these off to the person who's doing my spectrophotometry work. They can collect the absorbance at 280 nanometers of these first 4 fractions and give me a sense of, well, fraction number 1, there was protein in there. Fraction number 2, there was protein in there. Fraction number 3, no protein in there. Fraction number 4, no protein in there. Okay, so we have 4 fractions, 2 of them have protein, 3rd and 4th don't have protein. How do we deal with that? We're going to address that in the next video.